Hello everyone. Today let us discuss about line focus principle. Welcome to Oral Medicine and Radiology Made Easy. What is focal spot? The electrons emitted by the filament into a narrow beam directed at a small rectangular area on the anode is called focal spot. X-ray tube consists of cathode and anode. The area where the electron from the cathode strikes the anode is called as focal spot. The smaller the focal spot area, the sharper the image. As you can see here, the first one is a larger focal spot, and you can see the shadow or the penumbra is bigger with larger focal spot when compared to a smaller focal spot with a minimal penumbra. Penumbra contributes to the unsharpness of an image. So larger the focal spot area, greater the amount of penumbra and the greater the loss of image sharpness. So sharpness of a radiographic image increases as the focal spot size decreases. So if the focal spot size is increased, the sharpness of the image decreases. But if the focal spot is smaller, the sharpness of the image increases. However, the heat generated per unit target area becomes greater as the focal spot increases in size. We all know that electrons from the cathode strike anode at a very high velocity to produce X-ray beam. The kinetic energy of the electron is converted as X-ray beam. So in this process, the kinetic energy of the electron is converted as 99% is lost as heat and only 1% forms the useful X-ray beam. But the 99% of kinetic energy which is converted as heat has to be evenly dissipated over the focal spot. Otherwise, it will result in melting of the focal spot. So we need a larger focal spot to allow the greater heat loading, but we need a smaller focal area to produce a good radiographic detail. So in order to overcome these difficulties and to take advantage of small focal spot while distributing electrons over a larger area of the target is placed at an angle to the X-ray beam. That is, it is placed at an angle of 20 degrees to the X-ray beam. The apparent size of the focal spot seen from a position perpendicular to the electron beam is called as effective focal spot, which is smaller than the actual focal spot because actual focal spot is kept at an angle and only a small portion is available for the electrons to come and hit, and this is called as effective focal spot. And this principle of taking advantage of a larger focal spot while maintaining a smaller effective focal spot is called as line focus principle. So according to line focus principle, target is inclined about 20 degrees to the central ray of X-ray beam. This causes effective focal spot to be approximately 1 mm into 1 mm as opposed to the actual focal spot, which is about 1 mm into 3 mm. This smaller effective focal spot results in a small apparent source of X-rays and an increase in the sharpness of the image with a larger actual focal spot size to improve heat dissipation. With this, we come to the end of this video. Thanks for watching.